Hello there. This is Daniel Glynn. I'm back here at the studio at Unknown. We're not going to say where we are. And I have a guest with me today. Very excited about this. We'll be having the casual banter and such that we have when we're at have our coffee meetups and so on. So as you can tell by that, he's a pretty good friend of mine. I see him fairly often. We'll be having some music as well. It's not all just going to be chats and shits and giggles and such. It'll be got some banging tunes coming up as well. Yeah, years and years, King. Apologies for the delay in actually getting that song to start because, as you can tell, I'm a bit rusty with the controls here and I was pressing the wrong button to go to the next track. So my apologies for that. But yes, as I was saying, we have a guest here. Well, we have a guest. I mean, who's we? I have a guest with me today. And that guest is none other than my very good friend, my best buddy, my main man, Mr. James Merrill. Hello, James.
Hello. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me down.
That's all right. It's good fun. Just have some casual banter and a little bit of news and stuff here and there as the day as it goes on. But yeah, this is your time to, say whatever you like about yourself. Or yourself.
Probably not much to say really. Work in the land of Peri Peri. So if you're flying from Gatwick Airport, come on down. And when I'm not working, mostly listen to music or watching films.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of films, though, we'll come back to that later.
Oh, we've got plenty of talk about films later on, yes, indeed. Fast and Furious will be in there somewhere. And, maybe Avengers 2, bit of Avengers 2 maybe.
Does look good.
Got some good stuff coming up. But, we've actually, before we go into that, though, we've actually got your track of choice.
Oh, yeah.
So it's over to you. You know what the song is, yeah? You remember?
Yeah, once I overcome my nerves. God, I don't know how people do this. I picked Imagine Dragons, which is an up-and-coming Las Vegas band. It's been around for a while now. Just released a second album. I thought this track's pretty badass, and it's called Friction.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Hello, that was Imagine Dragons with Friction. Very good song, actually. I'd actually never heard of that one before. It was James's choice. He told me about that one. Yep. Yeah, pretty good choice. In fact, the only one I'd really heard of was Radioactive, I think. And there might have been another one. As we were saying there during the song, there's one used in the new Battlefield Hardline game. Is it Battlefield Hardline? Yeah.
I'm good at timing. The new Battlefield Hardline game came out, and they used it on the trailer for that. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I've heard that one. But unless it's been played on the radio, I may have done.
I don't think it has. Not yet.
No.
Well, I've probably missed it as well. Thanks to YouTube.
Yeah, good old YouTube. And of course Spotify as well.
Yep.
Go on Spotify. Haven't got the premium thing though for that. I didn't really want to pay. I mean, the free thing's good. I know it's got adverts and stuff, but it's not that bad. It's bearable.
30 seconds. Can wait that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not long.
Although sometimes it is annoying when they've got like 3 adverts in a row. It's like, what? I've only just heard one.
It's just the same advert repeating. Yeah. Oh, that's a bit of a drag.
Oh, dear. We'll just. I've got some notes here, cheat sheet or whatever you want to call it. Just to help me through this. A couple of questions that I might ask my buddy James here. Of course, one of them was, as James did say in his intro, he works in the world of Peri Peri, Nando's. So yeah, I mean, how are you finding that job? Are you enjoying it? Is it,
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Apart from as expected, I suppose, because it's at an airport, so you're working at crazy times. But the people there are awesome. It's a good team, and when you've got a good team, then work's more achievable. You can get it done easier because people listen to you.
Yeah,
some jobs.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
if you don't get on, they're probably like, no, I'm not doing that. You do it.
Yeah, I think I feel a little bit more of a laid back worker. I think because I work in an office, and I think that's probably more more suited for me, I think, because I like to sort of do my own thing, like in my own little world. So I'm like, right, I'll get on with my work, and then, you know, rather than, I mean, I have worked at talking at the airport. I worked at Marks and Spencer.
The wrong time though. You worked before.
Yeah. So yeah, but even so though, even if you were there, I may not have seen you because you're airside. So unless I was going on a flight, I probably still wouldn't see you. But, yeah, but I mean, I didn't mind it there. It was all right. But I think, I don't know, it just wasn't really for me. I think.
Apart from that they gave you the wrong name badge, and when they gave you the right one.
Yeah. Apparently, my name was Chris for like the first month or so, and yeah, they eventually did give me a Daniel one, but there was another guy at work there called Daniel as well. So I guess they were like, "Oh, we don't want to have the confusion and stuff." But I've actually got a funny story about that. My old doctor, my old GP, I actually served him once, and I saw him look at my badge. This was when I was still wearing the Chris badge. And I'm pretty sure he recognised me. You know, it's one of those when he sort of looked, he was like, hey, I'm pretty sure I've seen you somewhere. And I recognised him pretty much straight away. Then he looked at my name badge. I think he was a bit confused. He was like, hey, I'm sure your name's not Chris. I've seen you before. You're definitely not a Chris. Yeah. There's some good funny stories there. And of course, there's another funny one. There's the woman, you know, you get these salad bags, plastic bags. And she was in a bit of a rush, as people at the airport usually are. So she had this her suitcase, and she was in a rush, so she was stuffing it in, but of course she couldn't do the zip up. So she was really pushing it in, and as she did that, all I heard was a poof, and the salad went everywhere. It flew out the back. Oh God, so funny. But poor woman. Yeah, I currently I'm working at the CAA, Civil Aviation Authority, which it's okay. I work in the medical department, and it's all right. It's quite a lot to take in at first, but I'm just about sort of getting used to everything. But talking of which, though, there was an incident that recently happened which made pretty big news, that is somewhat related to my job, the Germanwings plane crash, which a German pilot, which... Well, we deal with pilots at my work. I mean, I'm not sure if this guy is on our system. It depends if he ever held a license in the UK. But there's a possibility he may have been. But yeah, that was pretty big news. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, they had, since 9/11, I know they changed their security. Like, I think they had automatic locks or something like that. I know they secured their locks, but obviously they're going to have to change that now, because once the pilot leaves, he could, goes to the loo, whatever. The co-pilot could do whatever he likes, and that's exactly what happened. The co-pilot took over, and he wanted to kill himself, but selfishly took others with him as well. So, but yeah, but you say you have something?
Yeah,
some news on that?
Article I read this morning is apparently an aviation expert said the control panel could have been, or the flight navigation system could have been hacked into. Oh. So not necessarily he pressed a crane, someone else pressed it for him, but it looked like he did it.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I remember talking to you about this before, of how, like, if there was a way that the headquarters could take over the actual, like, if something like that happened and they knew that the plane was, the co-pilot or whatever was just, not going his normal journey and was, deliberately trying to, like, kill himself or whatever, that somewhere that the headquarters, they could actually have control over the plane, and they could, in case, to stop something like that happening. But whether that could actually happen, I have no idea. But I don't really know how it all works. But but yeah, that'd be, maybe that will happen one day. If not,
would be a safer idea, have them back from HQ.
Yeah, and we could say we come up with that idea if, we could, like, copyright claim on that one. So yeah, Dan and James came up with that idea. So if that happens, well, rolling in the money. Well, I guess
speaking of money, apparently a couple last week won the lottery twice.
Oh. What, in the same... What in the same... Oh, right.
They've already won it, and then last week they won it a second time.
Wow. There's people like us that, like,
What are the odds of that?
I know. God, cheeky buggers. God almighty. Well, talking of... well, not talking of... What? I don't even know what I'm saying now. Sorry.
Money lost the ball.
Yeah. I'm just overwhelmed by that. cheeky bugger. So they're practically almost a billionaire then, probably.
Pretty much going to put it towards cruise, apparently. They said in the news.
God. Well, anyway,
Some, isn't it?
on that bombshell, we'll talk about that later as well. Nice reference there to a topic we'll talk about later. Well, after that kind of mellow song, we were just going to take this moment to have a chat about life. You know, how we even start this, though, I have absolutely no idea. But you know, some days I suppose I find quite difficult. Others I find all right. And I guess it's thanks to hanging out with people like James, Dave, Natty, whoever else we see. It helps, you know. Like there's some days when I feel a little bit, maybe a bit lonely and stuff, and I think, oh God, you know. But then it boosts up my spirit when I see guys like James, and you know, it all helps. And I was going to bring into this discussion about Robin Williams and how much his death affected me, really, because I mean, celebrities, I don't normally find that difficult to deal with their deaths. You know, there might be a celebrity that from a while ago done, and it's always the shock. It's always like, oh my God, I can't believe they've gone. But I'd never get upset about it as such. It's just like, oh, you know, that sucks, but you know, it happens. But Robin Williams was more upsetting, I think, because the fact that I grew up watching his films, and I mean, the genie in Aladdin. I mean, God, what a character, you know. I think that's where it all started, and then of course Mrs. Doubtfire. But you know, a lot of people didn't realise how much he was actually struggling in real life. You know, because even in the interviews he did, TV interviews or whatever, he always still seemed like that crazy, like, nut job. You know, he's always hyper, like he'd had one too many energy drinks. But of course, well, he did do cocaine, which I'm sure has had its effect as well. But you know, the fact that he had to take his life over it, I mean, it's just, I think he was a bit misunderstood, really, because he only did that persona, like that entertainment persona was only there because he didn't, I guess he felt he couldn't be comfortable in his normal self because maybe he felt he was too miserable. And I in a way feel like that as well. I feel like I can't be my normal self when I'm with friends, or you know, I have to be a bit more like enthusiastic. I have to be a bit more like woo, you know, because otherwise I think, well, my friends might find me boring, or they might think, oh, geez, Dan, cheer up, you know. Or so, and just going by my YouTube videos, people will look at that and think, well, what a weirdo, you're so hyper and bloody. I was like, well, that's just the entertainment side of me coming through, you know. That's all it is. But yeah, I mean, I completely understand why Robin Williams acted like he did in, you know, interviews. Just, but yeah, I mean, I know you're a big fan of Robin Williams as well, aren't you? Mutual respect there for the guy.
Yeah, funny you mentioned about celebrity deaths, because I was thinking about it the other day about when you see celebrities die and unfortunate circumstances to pass away, and it's trending on Twitter or Facebook. And as Dan said, Robin Williams and Paul Walker really touched you because he grew up watching those films. Mm. So yeah, when a tragedy happens to a normal person, they didn't get that much feedback on obviously Twitter or Facebook because you don't know them, but they just get forgotten about so recently. Yeah, it's true. So it's just really weird how like different people react to different deaths. Obviously, your own family and friends, and they pass away. Obviously, you're gonna feel it. And celebrities, when they pass away, you feel it in a different way. Yeah, but still the same. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, celebrities can be a huge part of your life. You know, so I mean, some people who, if they've had family fallouts, they feel that celebrity. I mean, even that, you know, they're not there for them in person, but they feel that celebrity's there for them more than, say, like an actual relative is or whatever, because you know they watch their films when they're feeling down, and it makes them happy, or you know. Also, I probably never get the chance to meet, like, say, Jim Carrey and never got a chance to meet Robin Williams. But the point is that when they pass away, you're like, oh, what? I mean, he's a great actor, and it's not like he did it for money. He actually act, and he, as I said, he grew up watching their films, so it's a bit of a loss. You lost someone that you grew up watching. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, I mean,
we don't want to make this show too depressing, but it's very sad about Robin Williams. He was a good guy. Shame he had to go that way. But yeah, I mean, as we were saying about when we hang around with friends, they help us through the day. Of course, there's a very special friends like Natty, and I know James might have a story there.
Oh no, I do. But I was going back to what you said earlier though about you like trying to be more hype in front of your friends. It's like my thought is that once you meet someone, it's like probably your first impressions or first 5 seconds count.
Yeah.
So if you go on a first date or something, and you mess up, then she'll probably think, oh, this guy's a right loser. Whereas once you break that barrier and they accept you, then no matter what you do, you always have your friends got your back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
That's why. That's why. What am I trying to say? That's why no matter what Dan's mood's in, I know I can always lie him, he can always lie me, and I'll never I was like, oh Dan, you're acting like a dick. I don't be as a friend now. I mean, we'll be friends forever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like after stuff we got up to in France, but in Paris, that's another story. But
we were brothers from a different mother, or whatever the saying is. But yeah, well, I mean, how long have we been best friends now? Like over 10 years, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Since like secondary school.
Yeah.
I think it was like year 9. I think was when I first sort of met you. I think, or year 10. Yeah. So yeah, it's like 10, 11 years ago or so. But,
I remember getting dropped off at Warner Park and you walking up the drive.
Yeah.
I was like, Mum, stop, there's Dan.
Yeah, good times, but can't believe how long ago that was. Like this year, 10 years this year when we left school. I mean, that's how crazy that is. 10 years. It's like, what? Where the hell has 10 years gone? Like,
years I'll be 30. Crikey.
Yeah. As my mum proudly said to me the other day, oh, you're closer to 30 now than 20. I was like, yeah, cheers, Mum. Thank you for that. Yeah, great. But yeah, I mean, we first met because it was that same year when we started Hayward Youth College, and we met. That's where we first met Nick.
Oh yeah.
First met Dave, Martin. We became like this group when we did all these stupid videos and stuff. I look back.
Somehow it spread around the college. People getting weird looks.
Yeah.
Or what was it? Someone came down to you and said, "Hey, good video."
Yeah.
It's not like we sent him a video on Facebook or something. He just found out.
Yeah, as if they found. I know back then we were on Bebo and all that sort of stuff. So I guess they came across our Bebo page or something. But, embarrassing. But, yeah, I think that was like a Jackass kind of influence there on some of those videos. But yeah. That was good though. Good fun though. I don't regret any. It's always nice to look back on them sometimes as well. It's like that was good times. But but is there any anything you wanted to say before we go into our next track?
I was gonna going back to Jackass. We don't do as major kind of painful stuff as they do, like can shave their balls with vinegar or alfresco sauce or something. But it did have a few mishaps where Dan hurt his ankle and I got passed out. I had to get an ambulance come and get me. Or I knocked my head on the swing and Dave and Dan left and Dave was laughing in the back or something. Yeah, as Dan said, that it was all good times and no bad blood or anything. It was all fun.
It was good. Yeah, good times. Good old college days. And after that as well, we went on to another. It's as if like we couldn't keep away from each other. We then went on to another college together as well. It's like, geez, I can't keep away. But although you did go a year before, I basically took a year out.
Went on the first whistle.
Yeah, I took a year out, pretty much doing nothing because I was lazy and didn't know what the hell to do. And then I know James was saying how good he quite enjoyed the media course. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll give that a go. And I went the following year. Which is a bit weird because, we're so used to being in the same year, and then suddenly you were like a year above me, and I was like, oh. And then it came to you leaving, and I was like, oh, got to stay there another year without James. Great. Yeah. But no, there's some good. I've got to admit though, there was some good people in that group. Like Harry and Mark are ones that are still talked to now and then, and but I mean, there was a good group of people there. There's like everyone got on quite well, and. Some of them obviously like what happened. Some of them I don't talk to anymore. Haven't seen since then, which has been like 5 years now since I left. But there was a good group of people. I do miss it sometimes.
Teachers are really good as well, and that's what makes it. If you get a bad teacher, then obviously they're not going to learn much. Whereas if you get on with a teacher, you're gonna pay attention more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Teachers there were superb.
Yeah. Dan Creed was always a favourite, I think, of most people. He's and he's like a metalhead as well. It's really weird. Like I remember he always used to wear the same hoodie and stuff. Incubus, yeah, and Jack Daniels hoodie. Yeah, good times. We're going to talk some film / TV / music news. But first, where do we start? I mean, there's quite a lot going on at the moment, and of course, one of the films that we'll be talking about a bit later on is the Fast and Furious series. But of course, there's Avengers 2, which is a pretty big one, which is coming up.
End of April,
yes. It's not long from this point of recording this. That's only a few weeks, so not long at all. But I'm very excited for that. I thought the first film was very good, and I have seen. I've seen all the Iron Mans. I've seen the 2 Captain Americas.
He hasn't seen Thor.
I haven't. I've seen the first Thor. I don't think I've seen the second one. I know, and I don't think I've even seen the latest Hulk version. I've seen the original Hulk from like 2003.
That's nothing to do with it. That's not linked.
No, but I kind of got the gist of the Avengers without seeing those 2 films in particular. So I'm guessing I don't really have had to have seen them, but I guess it all helps. But yeah, did you have any news on the Avengers 2?
Is it awkward? No. Obviously it's got Quicksilver in it, which but this is interesting because it's different Quicksilver to the one that was in X-Men. So that's played by a different actor. So it'd be interesting to compare the 2. Obviously you shouldn't, because that's got nothing to do with the Avengers, whereas this one has. But still, it'd be interesting to see how when it comes across on screen. Or sticking with the Avengers, that Marvel are making a animation show out of it. So like Simpsons, to make the MCU bigger, so it connects it in a bigger universe. If you're sick of Marvel, you're gonna have to wait a while. And also, the 2 guys who directed the first, that was Josh Reed. The 2 guys who directed Captain America, 2 brothers, Anthony and Joe Russo, are gonna do Avengers: Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
Oh really?
They got a busy slate ahead of them.
Blimey. Well, I guess they're known for being very busy directors and so on, those guys. But yeah, definitely. Of course, TV news as well. Breaking Bad is obviously one that's been talked about quite a lot as of. Yes, I am the danger. What was that classic one? Say my. Oh, there's loads, but say my name. Yep. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
Oh yeah. Well, when we argues with his wife, but I can't remember anyone.
They've got a prequel to that with Better Call Saul, which is on Netflix at the moment. It's in its first series, and I know there were talks that they were going to have Jesse Pinkman and Walter White reprise their roles in that. Well, Jesse Pinkman, I think, seems more confirmed at the moment than Walter White, but I'll be quite interested to see how they're going to go about that, because bearing in mind that Better Call Saul is set before Breaking Bad, so of course this would be before Walt finds out he has cancer and all that. So of course he's going to have the full head of hair. He won't be, the bald head guy that we all sort of known. So that'd be quite interesting how they're going to introduce them. Whether they'll maybe introduce them when Jesse might still be in his class at that point, because it's supposed to be set a few years before, so that could be how they do it. I don't know, but it'll be pretty interesting to see how they're going to do that. And I do hope they both make an appearance, because it would be good. Yeah. There's a minor character who was in Breaking Bad called Mike, who's played a bit more of a bigger part in this one.
Yep.
So it's some of they are definitely bringing back some of the old characters in there, so it's good to see. But yeah, I did like Breaking Bad. It's a good series. I know James is a big fan of Games of Thrones and plenty of other TV shows, and you'd say that's your favourite, isn't it?
I'm a fan of fantasy and sci and stuff that's kind of fairy tales, and it's got all that. Plus, it's got action, and it's what it's most known for though is nudity. And that's probably why most people watch it. But that's probably why most people watch it. But there's more to it than that.
Of course, yes. But it does help. A bit of eye candy,
it does help, So, ooh, hello. But the scripts and the scenes, and because they film it in so many locations around the world, so it's like 8 months to film. They filmed from Iceland to Ireland to, and so it's
Oh, wow.
some of the scenes, sets to come up with is crazy. It's
Yeah.
immense.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a great show, great production. But it's actually based on a book. But apparently the show will probably apparently is rumored to go before the book because the next book hasn't been written yet. So the show is apparently going to overtake the books.
Oh, right.
So I don't read books, but apparently, obviously, the people who read them are annoyed because obviously they want to see it in the book first. Because when you read a book, it creates it in your imagination. Whereas obviously, if you're watching film, then they've already done it for you.
Yeah.
So they're a bit annoyed about that. But
I thought that could bring in, of course, the 50 Shades of Grey, which is another, it was obviously a popular book, and that is now actually a film. From what I've gathered, I think especially, well, obviously the females. There's not many males that have seen it, I don't think. But,
we can just confirm that we haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it. No.
We were tempted to, but it
just to
backfired.
To see the reactions of just to, well, no, but from what I've gathered though, actually some people are actually a bit disappointed with the film. It's not as raunchy or whatever as they expected from the actual books. So.
Sorry to interrupt you. It just goes back to Dan's point. I mean, he doesn't say this on the radio, but off screen, he says that just proves that women are kind of get more rounded than men do.
Exactly. So. They'll always deny it. They always call us pervs, and they love it. I think they absolutely love it when we get all kinky and talk.
Just don't want to admit it.
Exactly. Yeah, they love it. Really, absolutely love it. The lust in their eyes when we do. Oh dear. Yes. Anyway.
I don't want to go down the gutter path.
Yes.
Keep clean.
Mine out of the gutter. Mine out of the gutter. Family show. Yes. Well, saying that though, I mean, this isn't. I mean, obviously, I'm sure as you can imagine, this isn't going out on the air or anything. It's just us two in the studio having. I think we would have been chucked off probably by now after that discussion But it's just two lads having a bit of bants. Lad, geezer. Yeah. Now, I suppose we should maybe talk about some music news as well. I know there's some. One personally I'm interested in. I don't know if James has any news before I delve into the one that I was thinking about. Is there any music news at all?
What are you thinking about?
Well, the Metallica stuff. But.
Oh, right. I was going to say about kind of recent news still, but One Direction. I'm not a fan, but it just hit headlines recently, and that how Zayn's left. And to be fair, with a band like that, I've been reading about the fans, and they are insane. Like they've erected a statue at LA, because that's where apparently One Direction walked past once. Or they're obsessed. Or another example is family from UK went to see them in a gig, and this girl who's 8 was really excited, so she worked her way to the front, and the mum was stressing because she was late. She wouldn't be worried they'd be on time, and a fan was like, "Oh, come on, mum, let's go," and then she slapped her child, and because being a fan like that, they're really they love them so much. And to be fair, I was on the mum side because it's like if you're just like because I can't get my words out. She took her daughter and a friend, and she was worrying to get to the venue on time, but she was late, and she slapped her, and now she's been given community service. Wow. And I'm all obviously against slapping children. You shouldn't do it, but if you did a report where parents have slapped their child, that means there are loads of people in jail. If she's doing it the once, then surely it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but I mean, you get past to see what I'm saying. Yeah,
there has to be some consideration there, I guess. But
it's just back to what I'm saying overall, that fans are insane. So going back to Zayn leaving, I'm not surprised he's left because everyone's constantly always on him, and I couldn't deal with that.
No,
Can you deal with constantly that?
No, I mean, as much as sometimes I'd like to think, it'd be cool to be well known and all that sort of stuff. No, I think it would be it would get a bit too much. I can understand his point in a way if he's found it too much, but then what did he expect in a way? I mean, he was on the X Factor. Usually, if you do well on that, you become fairly well known. I mean,
true.
I know a lot of X Factor stars don't really do much in their career afterwards, but the ones that do usually turn out to be pretty successful. Like
look at Ollie Murs.
Exactly, yeah. Who else? There's Leona Lewis. She's fairly popular.
Look at Rylan. I mean, he's hosting BB.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I know there's another woman who won the one before who did that song Ghosts or something.
Alexandra Burke. Oh no,
No.
Ella Henderson.
Yeah, her. I know she's pretty big now, I think, as well. So, they do quite well. And obviously, One Direction have become like basically the biggest band ever.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, well, it was confirmed they overtook Beatles records and all that sort of stuff. So,
John Lennon's spinning in his grave.
yeah, exactly. So you can imagine, that's a pretty big deal. Obviously, a lot of pressure on them and stuff. But well, fair play to them. I can't say I'll ever be a fan as such, but I did download an instrumental of one of their songs, which is what's playing in the background right now. Simply because, and there's a reason for this, because I like the music and I wanted to use it for a video as a background music. Funny enough, was the video in our Nice, France video. I used this in a segment in that.
Yep.
I just thought it fit really well. I like the violin sound in there. I thought it's a good sort of upbeat video, happy feel. So I thought that was my excuse for that. But of course, everyone else was like, "You got One Direction in your iPod, and you gay boy."
Well, I just use that against him because he saw that I liked the song from Eurovision. So I was like, "Dan, you listen to One Direction, mate. You can't put that on me."
Yeah, fair enough, I suppose. I know the Prodigy have recently released their new album, which
They are my enemy.
Yeah,
Dan's not a fan, ladies and gentlemen. Dan is not a fan.
I mean, I've only listened to it once, so it could be one of those albums that takes a couple of listens, and maybe I might get into it more. But I'm quite a big fan of some of their older stuff, especially The Fat of the Land. I think that's a great album. It's of course got the classics like Firestarter and Breathe, Smack My Bitch Up. It's absolute classics. But I don't know, this one, the last album, Invaders Must Die, I thought was pretty good.
Sorry, I'd just like to apologise. I said the name wrong. It's Day Is My Enemy, not Of My Enemy.
Okay.
Hate that. Carry on.
Yeah, but this new one, I don't know, I was a little bit bored in a way when I listened to it. But again, I only listened to it once, so who knows. No, but what about you? I know you've heard it as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I thought a few tracks were good. Day Is My Enemy, title track of the album. Rebel Radio, it's not bad. Bit repetitive though. There's another one as well. The name's gone. I'm forgetting names today. But yeah, as Dan said, it doesn't have much more kind of kick as the last album did. Like with Omen or Invaders Must Die. It had a bit of kind of beat to it, whereas this is kind of a bit soft.
Yeah.
Probably grow on me.
Yeah.
Songs usually do.
It's not bad, but I'm sure I'll like it eventually. But for now,
Speaking of songs, Larry.
Ooh.
I Really, Really Love You by Carly Rae Jepsen. I'm still trying to get Dan to like it. But I'm also going to post it on his Facebook page. It's a catchy tune. That's catchy. And Tom Hanks is in the video.
Yeah, which I find a bit weird. I mean, I just assumed maybe he was low on funds and he did it for the money, but or maybe he's a big fan of hers. I don't know, but I can't say I've ever seen him in a music video before, so I did find that quite weird. But then, I mean, saying that, Bruce Willis, I remember in Gorillaz, Stylo.
Oh yeah,
he was in that.
Yep.
I'd never seen him in a music video before, so that was quite a shocker.
Christopher Walken in Fatboy Slim.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't think of hers now.
Weapons of Choice. That was a song, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think. Yeah. It's when he's dancing in like the hallway, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't remember the song.
I think it's Weapons of Choice. Yeah.
Good song though.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Yeah. Well, the music news that I'm quite interested in, of course, is my favourite band, Metallica. They're supposed to be releasing a new album. Supposed to be.
Still waiting.
Yeah, I think they supposedly started recording, ages ago, which was more sort of rumours, but I think they are actually officially in the studio now, so we know that they are recording it finally. Because, but I still think it's gonna be another year. I'll still give it another year before that bad boy comes out. But I know they recently released. Well, last year they released a new song called "Lords of Summer," which they did for their summer tour. So there's a bit of a teaser, a taster of what maybe to expect from the new album. I'm not sure, but honestly, I think the song's all right. And bearing in mind, it is a demo as well. They have said it's a demo, so it could be better. But
What do you mean by demo? I understand the game demo. You're just trying in the game. But what's the song demo?
Well, usually that's the process before the song becomes like they've actually officially got everything together and actually record it. So like it's just like a prototype or whatever they want to call it, like a, you know, it's
not necessarily the finished song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, as we fade that out, that's basically what you know, maybe to expect from the new album.
Pretty badass track.
Yeah, it's quite good. Huh?
Where on me?
It's from their Ride the Lightning album. So we're going back 30 years now.
Ooh,
classic.
Back in time.
Damn right. And this is For Whom. Actually, I'll say it the way Hetfield does live. He always bigs it up. For whom the bell tolls. Ah. There you go. For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica. Love that song. Well, we're going to talk now about that news we said about earlier. We're going to keep waiting. So, of course, Jeremy Clarkson is pretty big news at the moment. Probably, if not the biggest news in a way, especially in terms of BBC, what's going on with the BBC and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they've, well, his contract is definitely up. But the interesting story, which I'll let James tell you this, you know, supposedly sacked, you know, from contract with BBC, gone, you know, not just Top Gear, we're talking BBC. That's what we thought. But James has some news regarding that.
Apparently, BBC have given them the job to host Have I Got News For You. I'm not sure if it airs tomorrow or next Friday, but normally if you hit your boss, that's it for the job, not change programs. So that's it for Top Gear, but he's allowed to continue working for them, which I find a bit confusing.
Yeah, I mean, like I at first agreed with, you know, like a lot of people were obviously disappointed, and that Top Gear wouldn't be the same without him, and that him, James May, and Richard Cameron come as a trio, you know. And I agreed at first. I thought, oh, you know, come on, BBC, really, you're gonna fire him over that? Like, come, you know, you can sort that out. But then, when the more I think about it, then you know, as James just said, like if that happened to any one of us in our job, we'd get the sack immediately. Like, there's no way you could get away with punching your boss, or not just your boss, I mean a co-worker as well. You know, like you'd get sacked straight away. There's no doubt. So I mean, just because he's a celebrity and he's good at his job, I guess it doesn't mean he's like immortal and he can do whatever he wants, because he can't. You know, he's just a normal human being like us. So
a regular Joe, just like the rest of us.
Exactly. But you know. But obviously, it is a shame, and whatever happens with Top Gear now is clearly not going to be nowhere near as good. I mean, even though it's a car show, and you know, if there's presenters that know about their cars, then they can still do it. But the fact is, the reason why it's so popular is because of the fact of the presenter. It's not so much the car show; it's the fact that they make it so entertaining as well. You know, and that's why it's like one of the most popular shows of all time. So, but yeah, it's a shame. But other car news: Fast and Furious 7, which is the latest one in the series. Very good, actually. I've got probably one of the better ones, I think. You know, it's better. I must say, very good send-off as well for Paul Walker. You know, they
great tribute.
Yeah, they obviously have thoughts about how the hell they're going to carry on with that. You know, what they're going to do to his character. They're going to kill him off. They didn't kill him off. They basically, as they like to call it, retired his character. So he's not basically never going to be mentioned again now. So, but yeah, it's a very sad ending. Almost brought a little tears to the eye. Almost, you know, just really didn't quite get there, but you know, very close, very close. Yeah, it's very sad, obviously. And then they showed clips from, you know, the previous films he's been in, and well, he's been in all of them before. But you know, yeah, it's very sad. As I say, apparently they're going to do another one though. So they're still going to continue with it. So
they did an interview with all the cast saying about like plans or where you like to go, and Mia, played by Jordana Brewster, said about the kids growing up. So they're thinking to turn into like a Bond franchise, so the kids take over.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just the spitballing. Or also apparently Evan Mendes, who was in the second one, could be coming back.
Oh really? Wow. I mean, well, there you go. You heard it here first. Well, I'm sure it's other news articles. So but yeah, well, I look forward to see where it goes. But hopefully it will still live up to the hype. Without Paul.
I can see what people are saying though, because it's such a fitting end for Paul and the film as a whole. It should really end it.
Yeah, it would be a good way to end it, I think. Yeah, but yeah,
because it's Hollywood, they're trying to milk it for all they got.
Yeah, they probably might as well make like 10 films now. They're already on 7. They could probably easily make another 3 if they wanted to. So I guess they might as well, But yeah, well, how have you enjoyed the show anyway? Have you enjoyed being here? It's been
great.
Good fun.
As I said, cheers for inviting me. I would have done nothing at home all day, home alone. Cheers. It's been a laugh.
As I say, I mean, it's definitely more interesting having someone here to talk to as well, and I think it makes it more interesting to listen to as well, because like not just listening to the songs, you can like listen to us having a chat and banter and all that sort of stuff as well. It certainly beats me sitting here on my own and just sort of waffling on about nothing, trying to fill up time. So it's definitely more interesting than that. The final song we're actually going to play was like I suppose you could say one of the main themes from Fast and Furious, and it was played in that last clip that we just talked about with Paul Walker, and probably at the moment is probably one of my favourite songs at the moment. It's very sad, but it's a good song. It's a pretty good song. I'm not a huge fan of Wiz Khalifa of his stuff, but I must say this one I do find quite good, and that song is "See You Again." And maybe we will see you again one day, us too. And it'd be nice to have James back here if we ever get to do this again. That'd be pretty cool. But you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah,
it's been good.
It's cool. It's good. Once I eventually controlled my nerves.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's good. Yeah.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. I say you. I mean, I doubt many people are going to actually hear this, but still, I'll say it anyway. I hope you enjoy this. Yes, we'll be back next week. Make sure you tune in, even though there's nothing to tune into because we're not a station. It's podcast, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, enjoy. This is our final song, Wiz Khalifa. See you again, and we will see you again one day, hopefully. Take care. Bye bye.